The Japanese Seclusion Edict, reportedly from 1636, stated the following:
No Japanese ship, nor any native of Japan, shall presume to go out of the country. Whoever acts contrary to this shall die, and the ship with the crew and goods aboard shall be sequestered until further orders. All persons who return from abroad shall be put to death. Whoever discovers a Christian priest shall have a reward of 400 to 500 sheets of silver, and for every Christian in proportion. All Namban, Portuguese and Spanish, who propagate the doctrine of the Catholics or bear this scandalous name shall be imprisoned in the Onra, or common jail of the town. The whole race of the Portuguese, with their mothers, nurses, and whatever belongs to them, shall be banished to Macau. Whoever presumes to bring a letter from abroad or to return after he hath been banished shall die with his family. Also, whoever presumes to intercede for him shall be put to death. No nobleman nor any soldier shall be suffered to purchase anything from the foreigner.
Thus began a social epoch in Japan known today as Sakoku, the voluntary isolation of Japan from all Western powers. It was not until 1853, 2 years after the First World's Fair in London, that the West actually succeeded in turning Japan away from its peaceful, self-sufficient life.
The policy of the Sakoku ended after 1853, when the American black ships commanded by Matthew Perry forced the opening of Japan to American and thus Western trade through a series of unequal treaties.
This was just a few years after the same forces had destroyed ancient China in what is now known as the Opium Wars.
In 1842, the Qing dynasty was forced to sign the Treaty of Nanking, the first of what the Chinese later called the unequal treaties, which granted Britain compensation and extraterritoriality, opened 5 treaty ports to foreign merchants, and ceded Hong Kong Island to the British Empire. The failure of the treaty to fulfill British goals of improved trade and diplomatic relations led to the Second Opium War, 1856 to 1860, and the defeat of the Qing led to social unrest within China. In China, the war is considered the beginning of modern Chinese history.
The same old game over and over again. It is important to realize that everyone in China and Japan hated Catholics because Catholicism was used as a weapon to weaken their countries culturally before the British also took over the political structures. Until the 1840s, China and Japan were defending themselves quite successfully. Even back then, Vatican-controlled Catholicism had nothing to do with genuine Christianity. Rather, the Vatican was used to infiltrate genuine Christianity. Michelle Gibson.
The year of 1493 was the year that Pope Alexander VI authorized the land grab of the Americas in the Inter Cetera Papal Bull. This papal bull became a major document in the development of subsequent legal doctrines regarding claims of empire in the New World, and assigned to Castile and Spain the exclusive right to acquire territory, to trade in, or even approach the lands laying west of the meridian, situated 100 leagues west of the Azores and Cape Verde Islands, except for any lands actually possessed by any other Christian prince beyond this meridian, prior to Christmas 1492. Michelle Gibson.
The emperor of the Roman Empire became the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. The famous papal bull Unum Sanctum, supposedly dating back to the Middle Ages, was intended to cement the absolute rule of the Pope. The last sentence of this bull reads,
"But we now declare, say, and define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation for every human creature to be subject to the Roman Pontiff."
Thus, the Pope legitimized himself as the sole representative of God on earth. The so-called heretical Christian communities, such as the Albigensians and Cathars, condemned the papacy as the church of the Antichrist and considered themselves the successors of the true Christian heritage, which, however, was allowed to continue only in secret. Papal Catholics were accused, among other things, of being responsible for the mysterious fires that destroyed entire cities. The monument in the city of London about the London Fire of 1666 still read until 1830, "The most terrible destruction of this city, begun and carried on by the treachery and wickedness of the papal faction." Western historians confused Jesuit Catholicism with Christianity and accused Japan and China of blindly hating all Christians, while omitting all facts proving the obvious interference of the Jesuits and the Catholic Church in foreign affairs. Thus, regarding the reshaping of the Chinese chronology, we read the following from Uwe Topper in The Great Forgery Event.
Perhaps the most lasting effect of Jesuit work, however, lay in the reshaping of Chinese chronology and its alignment with Western data. The creation of a chronological system was quite new for the Chinese. It was done according to the Latin model, and on the whole, in the spirit of the Catholic Church. The whole process took a century and a half and was finally terminated by the Chinese from 1735 by force. As a result of the immense work, the first complete work of Chinese history appeared in 1778, something that had never been done before in China. There were not only the dynasties, the order of emperors, and their dates of reign, but also the transfer of these dates to the European timescale. Although the errors in it are always criticized, the work has not become obsolete to this day, but has remained in principle the guide for our sinologists, even if they should no longer be aware of it. Uwe Topper.
With this rewriting of the chronology, the Jesuits laid the groundwork for the British takeover of China in 1842. Not only Christianity, but also Islam and Judaism were sooner or later used to control the masses. Because of the nature of the rewrite, we do not even know if the general timeline of events prior to these wars in the name of imperialism is true.